Connor Rogers, both of PFF and NBC Sports, does tons of draft coverage for both organizations. Shout out. We'll have him on the show as soon as we get close to the draft. Maybe on the show 2 more times. Have him go over this draft that he did because he's such a draftaholic, such a sicko. He did a 3-round mock for the entirety of the NFL.
God damn.
Yeah.
It probably took like an hour and a half.
Probably more than that. It takes me an hour to get through a first round.
Yeah.
I'm thinking all types of crazy scenarios. And shout out to Connor. I think he does great draft coverage, and I respect the work he does. So I wanted to go over this mock draft with you because he's also in the loop, obviously, a little bit more than we are here with the teams and what they're thinking. This will be the second time, Spitty, that Mikael Williams, edge rusher out of Georgia, has been mocked to the Detroit Lions at number 28. His
third time. Oh, no, I wasn't at 28. Sorry.
I have some concerns
I moved up to
if
25.
Williams' raw ability will convert into an NFL pass production, but he gives the Lions front a high floor defender with desired size and length. Again, I respect this because this isn't a guy just coming in here and throwing any edge rusher name there. We've been over the conversation a million times. Yeah. And I would be open to James Pierce.
I would love James Pierce.
But we had the conversation a million times, like the character and size. Those are things that matter to this organization.
Yes, it does.
It matters to this scheme they want to do. They like to crush and collapse the pocket. If it's not obvious once more again, well, I guess they'll let Zadarius Smith go. But that's just their ideal defensive end. That's the type of guy they're going to bring in here. Mikael Williams fits that. He also plays the run very well, and there's the upside of the edge production. The stuff I don't like is the get off. And obviously, he's very raw, but I believe he might be the youngest guy in this year's draft class. He's like 20 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be mad at all. Mikael Williams actually at 28. If he fell to 28 and you grabbed him at 28, that might be a A-plus pick on potential.
Absolutely. I think that would be a great pick. I had the Lions moving up to 25 to get him in my last mock. I agree with all the points he made. He, on paper, is exactly what Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell are looking for in that edge piece. Plays the run very well, has a big body, uses that big body very well, both getting to the passer and playing the run. But like you said, he's extremely raw and would need to kind of polish his pass rushing moves to get a serious pass rush in the NFL. But having a guy like Casey Rogers in there as your defensive line coach would definitely help with that. That's another versatile guy that you can move all around the defensive line. And being opposite of Aiden Hutchinson is going to give him a lot of one-on-one opportunities. And I think with his athleticism and his size, he'd be able to beat NFL tackles.
Yeah, and I think at the minimum, you're getting the ability to collapse a pocket, which they value at the Detroit Lions level. And he plays the run as well. Nick, have you done any more on Mikael Williams since he's been mocked to us a few times now?
I'm a big fan. I'd be all in with this pick, especially if it is at 28. You don't have to move up to go get him. That's music to my ears, but I would be willing, like Spencer, to go up and get this guy. I think you have to think about your future on the defensive line. So many defensive linemen have become available, and some mid ones have hit the market, and what kind of money they're getting when you see a Josh Sweat or you see the interior defensive lineman from Philly also getting just an absolute bag. You got to draft your own guys. Unless you want to give up multiple first-round picks, which we are not willing to do.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I'm all in. I mean, 23 TFLs, 14 sacks in 3 seasons doesn't scream off the numbers, but when you think about his body, his play style, and his, the pedigree of being in the SEC, he's going up against elite talent, day in and day out. So I'm very comfortable with this pick if this was what Brad Holmes decided to do at 28 or moved up and gave up a little bit of capital to go up and get his guy.
I'm not beefing with that one at all. Do you have anyone on that one, Chris? We'll move to the second round.
Yeah, I guess where I'm at with it is just with Mikael Williams. I mean, I think we're all pretty happy with him. But at that point, are you just saying, are you just locked in on F it, go up and get like the best edge you possibly can get? Or are you okay with letting a guy that you really like Mikael Williams falling to you at 28, hopefully, and going to get it? Or are you just dead set on, you know what, F this, we know this is what we need. Let's just go get the best version of it we possibly can.
I mean,
that's
tough to say because it probably depends on the conversations they're having when they call and make that call and move up. But I think this kid's worthy of having a first-round grade. Again, only 20 years old. Last year, you could make the same argument with the limited production, but again, he's also only 20 years old, so limited bag in itself and skill set. Also played on, I believe, it was like a sprained ankle the entire season, if I'm not mistaken.
He's 6'5", 270.
That ain't
ran a 4.7. He had like an 8.2 RAS score.
He still put up first-round caliber tape as injured at 20 years old at Georgia. I think that's very impressive.
I like this pick. I'm not gonna lie. If you told me that the Lions got Michael Williams or Shamar Stewart or James Pierce Jr. at 28 or around there, I'm happy. I'm
happy as a clam.
Yeah, I would be happy with any of those guys.
I just might dip my face in some water to celebrate.
I think that James Pierce Jr. Excuse me.
His nickname.
Juice. I think he'll be the best out of all of them. But again, I think he'd be the least likely for the Lions to draft.
So you're Spencer, real quick. You're okay with having the option to get one of those three instead of moving up to for sure get him?
Yeah.
Okay.
I am.
Oh.
I think if any of those guys are available, it's a good pick.
All right.
And I don't, like I said, I don't really like one that much more than the other to where I'm like, go get him. I just think that they're all very good caliber players, and they all show potential to be that guy. It's on Brad Holmes to decide who he likes the most out of them. And if he and I could see him doing that to move up to get the guy that he likes the most out of those three. But with these mock drafts, if it's any of those guys falling to him, I'm happy with it.
Yeah, Brad's always wanted to move up to go get who he wants.
For sure.
He gave up a third rounder to go and to grab somebody in the fourth. That's insane. But he liked the guy that much. His thing. He's always said he and Dan Campbell, if they're convicted, then they'll do it. If they have the conviction, they'll go out there and get their guy.
K. Guz in the Woodward Sports Chat, the breaking news, he says Tigers placed Parker Meadows on the 60-day injured list.
Fuck. Oof.
That sucks.
We kind of saw that coming, but fuck.
Yeah, but we hoped.
As soon as it came out, they was going to be on the opening day roster. It was kind of...
It's a nerve injury.
Please, no. And that's also something weird.
Yeah.
I might have that going on for me right now. All right. Back to the Lions talk. In the second round, they stay put at pick number 60, and they take offensive lineman, left tackle out of West Virginia, Wyatt Millam. And the blurb on this one reads, Millam played tackle for 4 years at West Virginia, but he told me at the NFL Combine he's been trained to also play guard. If you look at his draft profile, this is for me here on out, he does have like 32-inch arms.
Yeah.
So obviously at tackle, you want a guy with longer arms. Listed as a weakness in his draft profile is the fact that they played a lot of play action at West Virginia, not like true press sets. Welcome to Detroit, buddy.
Yeah,
you sound like a Detroit Lion to me. He's 6'6". He started all 4 years. He's a great run blocker. His short time, if you guys want to know, was projected to be around like 4.7. I love it. He was 2024 Big 12 Offensive Lineman of the Year. 0 sacks allowed, 0 QB hits, and only 6 pressures just last year, according to PFF. I told you guys I'd be down if we took Donovan Jackson in the first round. I think we need to address the interior offensive line at some point because I don't know how long Graham's going to be here. I don't know how long Frank's going to be here. We need to address this, and I bitched about it even in free agency. I would love this pick, and this is a guy I haven't watched the film on. I'm excited to watch the film on, but give me a 6'6" guard that helps the run game. That's perfect for what the Detroit Lions got going on.
Yeah, good in the run game, good at realizing and acknowledging stunts and different crosses and getting on those very fast. Like you said, he's a big guy. He can play tackle. He can play guard. He can play anywhere really on that offensive line. So just another piece of that versatility puzzle that Brad Holmes likes to achieve. I'd have to see who was on the board around that time.
Yep, that's exactly what I'm thinking. Where are the interior defensive linemen chilling that go after him?
Yeah, what were the next couple picks after him?
I was trying to look for it.
Pick 61 was that cornerback that I liked, Darian Porter out of Iowa State. 6'4", 4.3, 40 time. I mean, those don't fall off trees. 62 was Andrew Mukba, safety out of Texas. Mukba. Charles Grant, offensive lineman of William & Mary, was following that at 63. Xavier Restrepo was the receiver at 64. Not that many guys I think most Lions fans are probably looking to grab in the second round, unless you wanted like a Jack Sawyer. But conversations I had, he sees him as a back half second, day 3 pick.
Yeah.
Actually,
I don't hate it.
Cool with it then. I'm right there. If I'm not moving up in the first, I'm moving up in the second. Like, I'm trying to grab as many high-end pieces for my defensive line to pair with Aiden Hutchinson because he is going to get the bag, and you are going to need some cheap pieces around him.
Yeah.
Just for shits and giggles, so I was wondering where Sawyer went. He went 81 in this mock draft to the Cincinnati Bengals.
They do like their white edge rushers in Cincinnati.
From Ohio, too.
Yeah.
They like white in the ass and white in the fast.